On the left, we have a custom 1/4 scale Loki on throne. On the right, we have a custom 1/4 scale Loki on throne. We've already reviewed both of these statues, but now it's time for them to face off. There's going to be one winner and one loser. It is time for an Xtrumble. I'm Mr. X. This is the Extreme channel. This is an Xtrumble. That means extreme rumble. That means when we take two similar statues, or sometimes maybe not so similar, and we compare and contrast them. This is not a traditional review. I've actually reviewed both of these pieces. The one on the right was my first review I ever did on YouTube about a year ago. The one on the left was just launched this past month. Now, if you want to check those out, go ahead and wait till the end, and there will be some links to both of these reviews. And as we get started, Xtrumble is a newer part of the program. It's going to be a permanent part of the program, and I don't really have a format. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to use the basic aspects of a review to compare these two guys. We're going to look at the concepts of both, the design, the paint and sculpt, and, of course, the final score. Now, we're not going to get into a ton of detail. Like I said, there are reviews out there that you guys can go watch that I've done on both of these, and that can get you the exact details, but we'll do some screenshots and comparisons as we go along. Another thing I'd like you guys to comment below is what kind of format should we have for these Xtrumbles? Give me some good ideas. I run out of thoughts very easily. But let's go ahead and get started, and before we actually get into those Xtrumble categories, let's talk about some of the background information on both. So these are custom, and if you're new to the channel or you just don't listen to what I say, custom is a private commission that we can't talk about. And 99.5% of the time, when I have a custom piece in front of me, it is sold out. The reason for that is when custom commissions are created, they show a render. Sometimes it's an actual digital sculpt, very rarely, but sometimes it's actually a prototype, so a completed product where they haven't mass-produced them yet. And then people buy them, and then they wait anywhere from 6 to 36 months for the actual products to be in hand. So let's get started. Both of these have an edition size, obviously, which means how many did they make. And most customs are under 100. The one on the right, which we got to think of what to call them. Stone throne. All right, they're both stone thrones. We'll call it non-chessboard. The non-chessboard one, they did make less than 100, barely. They made 99 of these. Where the chessboard one, they made 55 of them. Cost on the chessboard was 900, around there. The one on the right was 1,300. Now, another big issue with the one on the right is shipping was in 2 giant boxes, which if you look at it, it's like, they're probably similar in weight and size, but shipping on the one on the right was over $600, where the one on the left was $300. So affordability, lower ES, more valuable. The one on the left, yes. Well, right now, honestly, the one on the right you can get for about $3,000 to $4,000. This one just came out, so it's not being sold yet, but my guess is you can get it for under $1,500 resale value. So not that that's a competition, but the non-chessboard would win that as far as value, which is kind of ironic because almost twice as many were made. Dimensions, the one on the right, the nice thing is it takes up a lot less room. It's only about 14.5 inches wide, where this one, I actually just reviewed it, is almost 23, 24 inches wide. However, it's a little bit taller, not too much. Scale-wise, they're both good 1/4 scale. 1/4 scale means it's 1/4 the size of what it would be in real life. And, yeah, just very cool pieces. So let's jump right into the concepts of these pieces. And what's funny is they have the same concepts, but they were executed completely differently. Well, what do you mean by that? It's Loki. He's on a throne, and he is defeated or is defeating and playing with the Avengers. The chessboard, as we talked about in the review, if you didn't watch that, go back and watch that. He is either already defeated the Avengers and turned them into chess pieces and is now playing with them, or he is currently playing with them and they're about to meet their fate, their doom. So his whole throne is centered around defeating the Avengers. Well, if you look at the non-chessboard Loki, his throne is made out of the Avengers. And as I said in the review, I believe, I haven't watched it for a year, but we don't know if the Avengers are still alive and they are in stone. We don't know if they are dead. And he's a little more victorious for the one on the right, conceptually. He's already defeated the world. He's a little more victorious. They're both evil. This one's more concentrated. He still has work to do. I think both concepts are phenomenal, to be honest with you. And if you saw the review on this one, this is why I bought this piece. It's such a cool concept, and it encompasses Loki. But so does this. Back then, when I did reviews, I didn't break it down. I might have. I don't remember. But I didn't score them, for sure. I think they are both fantastic concepts. They're both defeating the Avengers. They're both showing Loki's power, his mischieviness. Is that a word? Mischievousness? His mischief. I know what I'm trying to say. It's just really early, and it was New Year's Eve last night. But yeah, so I think they both show his power, his evilness, his conquering the Avengers. I think both concepts are probably a tie, to be honest with you, and I know I'm going to get some hate. Another thing I do want to bring up is this custom group on the left has a lot of haters, so people are going to be attacking this right away. And this custom group on the right has a lot of loyal followers. So it doesn't matter what piece I put right here, this piece would win, which is kind of foolish to me, but that's the way things go. And don't get me wrong, this is a fantastic piece, so I'm actually going to talk about something at the end of the review with it. Next, let's talk about the design of both pieces. What's interesting to me is just recently, I've seen 2 or 3 of these broken and people having to get it repaired. And mine is actually broken in a few different areas as well. One of the foot pieces is broken, which did not happen in shipping. That was a Mr. X mistake. But the staff, he comes with the switch out staff, we're going to talk about in a second. That was broken when it arrived. And then the second replacement was also broken. So design, we talk about, did everything fit well? Does it make sense? Displayability options, things like that. On the left, you don't have any switch outs, but you have a light up feature. On the right, you don't have a light up feature, but you have 2 switch out left hands, 2 switch out right hands, and 2 switch out portraits. And here's the thing. Sometimes there's too many switch outs. I think that's perfect. However, the switch outs that Loki has for his portrait on the non-chess version are very similar in my opinion. They're a little bit different, but they're a little similar. So I don't think that's needed. He has different lengths on his horns. Here's some pictures from the original review, actually, of those.
Different helmets. The one that you're seeing now, where he kind of has the smirk, the grin on his face. And then there's another one where it's more of a serious, angry face, and then there's a lot of detail in the in the horns. His right hand, the first switch out, is where he's conjuring this dragon with magic. I like that a lot. And then the second one is the staff that I told you about that was broken. His left hand has a hand here where he is drinking from the cup, and then the switch out is a dagger in a very similar hand pose, grasping on that dagger.
So he has a number of different switch outs, which is nice, but they all kind of tell the same story. And I'm not a guy who switches stuff out a lot personally. It's nice to have and nice to display, but once it's there in the case, it kind of stays in the case. Now, this guy on the left, even though he doesn't have switch out options, he does have the lighted up chessboard. Here's a picture of it lit up. And just like switch out options, to me that's kind of useless. How often are you really going to use that? Displayability, they're both about the same height. However, this one's way too wide. I talked about this in the review for this one, so I think that one gives this one a little bit of an edge. Also, there really wasn't too many issues fitting things together on the non-chess version. There's no issues with assembly or anything like that. where there was kind of I don't want to say a mess, but quite a few issues with here. So I think it's clear design-wise. You have more switch-out options. You didn't have some of the QC issues with it. The display ability is a little bit easier on this one. Interestingly enough, this doesn't have an actual base. Loki's foot is sitting on the ground. I think I have 2 other statues like that. It's always kind of a unique take, but that helps you maneuver it around a little bit. So I think for those reasons, display clear or design clearly goes to the non-chest version piece. Now we're going to get into paint and sculpt, and you know, realistically, I could make this a long, drawn-out video to get more views and hopefully more ads pop up, but I'm not going to. Check out the reviews on these. The paint and sculpt on the right is far superior. You have a lot more just deep colors that pop on Loki. The stone could have been done a little bit better on the non-chest version. They could have used some more shadowing and some different variations. But the sculpt of the different characters that look like they're half stone, the sculpt on Loki's boots and outfit. I like both of their portraits. I do like the non-chest version better. I don't want to take away from this piece. It's still a very nice piece, but it's foolish to compare it to this one. One of the things I told you I was going to tell you earlier was this is actually one of my top 10 favorite custom pieces. So the paint and sculpt, especially on the Loki for this, the throne, the concept is amazing, like this one is, but the paint and sculpt are just good, where the paint and sculpt on Loki is very, very good. It's probably close to an X or a 5 out of 5 on this, where the paint and sculpt on this is just very nice. And there's some really parts that throw this off. So paint and sculpt both go to the non-chest version piece. So it's kind of a no-brainer. Why does this one flip for so much more? And when we say flip, I mean resale. So it's been sold out from the manufacturer, so the only place you can buy it is from other people. So here's some pictures of them side by side, just to kind of show you what's going on. I think it's a no-brainer that the overall statue, they were tied in one category and it won in 3 other categories, that the no chessboard one is the clear winner. This was a pretty easy Xtrumble to do. And again, I'm still looking for a format. So as we look at these pictures, go ahead and comment below on a format I can use for these Xtrumbles. How to do it. Some people have suggested for the statues that I have, like, 10 to 12 of the same character, do like a March Madness bracket type thing, which I'm definitely going to do. I think that's a genius idea. But both very, very cool pieces. If you like Thrones, if you like Loki or Avengers, I don't think you can go wrong with either one. So obviously affordability does come into this. And I think I saw another Loki on Throne concept tease recently, which I will try really, really hard not to get. Now, last thing, I said I had something cool for you guys at the end. It's something I did not do with this piece that during the review, I really wanted to show you. XM Studios made a Kingpin playing chess. Here's a picture of that one right here. And I know some people have kind of played with this concept. They've paired him with other throne pieces. So that gave me the idea with this one. And while I won't display it this way, and it's going to look kind of weird because the leveling is off, this actually looks really good playing chess against a custom Doctor Doom on Throne. Here's a picture right here. Very, very cool. I love it. And if I had a display option for this, but I don't want to look at both of their sides, I like looking at the front. So as always, that's my ranking, guys. Let me know if you disagree with any of my rankings below in the comments below. But most importantly, let me know a format that we should do for these Xtrumbles. We're still trying to figure them out because I think there's definitely something big here. That's what she said, is when you're trying to figure out which statue you're going to make an investment on, you want to see a good comparison of both. So moving forward, I'm going to do that because I have so many of the same character and the same concept. But appreciate you guys watching. See you tomorrow. Take care.